All right, so everybody told me it wouldn't work. They said day trading was too risky, it's a scam, it's a gamble, and I'm sure after dealing with it for the last few weeks, I can understand why people would think that. But in January last month, I finally decided to give day trading a try. I went live with my Charles Schwab trading account. I started with $5,000, and today I'm going to show you exactly what happened. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, the scary, the big and bad, because it was some rough days ahead. But I did finish the month up $735.81. That's over 14% in 30 days. So I'm going to show you my screen. Let's jump in and let's talk about what happened. All righty, so I got my screen up. I'm going to show you some numbers. Like I said, I started with $5,000. I took a course with Robert on day trading. Many of you know him. He's been on my channel a few times. This is definitely a skill that you need to learn. You must, you're going to spend a lot of time really managing risk. And he talks a lot about being disciplined, and the biggest enemy you'll be fighting is yourself, fighting that greed monster, because it's easy to see that money and the greed monster kick in. And, I won't lie to you, there were some scary days when I was trading with them for the month of January, days where I just didn't fully understand what was happening. But I stuck to the plan that Robert was sharing with us and taught in his course. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't a get rich quick thing. So it's really about managing risk so you can stay in the game. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to I'm going back and forth on the other screen, looking at some notes that I have so I know where to go, because I'm still learning the platform. So I'm going to go to my portfolio performance, and I traded in this account. So I'm doing year to date. So from January 1st to January 31st, it shows the full month that we started. So there were $3.85 in my account at the first day of the year. I added some money initially, so like around the 2nd or 3rd of January, I believe, I can't remember the exact date, I added $5,000. And then I came in later in the end of the month and I added another $600 to the account. So all in all, there was a net contribution during this month of $5,625.70. The investment changes, what we're seeing on the screen, this is the money I earned from my winnings. So I earned $735.81. This is what I won. And so you added up the $5,625 to the $735 that I won. So my account ends in a value of $6,365.36. So I had a earning of 14.09%. Remember, Robert goal really is to teach you how to earn 0.5% to 1% per trading day. He's really he really preaches that you can earn up to about 10% a month. Is basically what he's really aiming for. Some months you'll get over 10%, some months you'll get less than 10%. But at 14% is what I got my first month in. I did have one loss, so my numbers would actually be higher if I did not have that one loss, and my percentile would be much higher. So man, it worked. I mean, there were some days when I go back, he makes us write all of our trades in the notebook. So I have all of my trades written down. I'm able to go back and overlook stuff. And so one of the things that I like about his training is he gives you the option to join him on Zoom in the morning time. So when the market opened here, it opens up at 8:30 a.m. because the time zone difference. So it opens up at 8:30 here on this side. And so in the morning, 30 minutes before the market open, we get on live together. We do a prep, read the news, see what's going on in the market, discuss how it may or may not affect things. And then when the market opens up, we put on our trades. And so the first few times I was putting on some trades, because watching it in the course and then doing it in real time by yourself for the first time is scary. So by being on the live Zoom with him, and there's a couple of other people that's in the Zoom, some students, and they were kind of able to help walk me through a trade. And so that was very, very helpful. And then, like I said, that's optional, So I think when you join his membership, his training, you get one of those where you get to participate. So we're on this live Zoom from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. And so we're talking. I'm able to ask the other guys in the group. And there's a lady in there from time to time as well. I can ask questions about why they do what they did, why they chose this trade, why you did this, why you did that. And so it's always good to get different people's perspective. So that was very helpful for me. And so there was a couple of times where I had to get out of a trade, and, I was being a little risky or a little greedy. And so I kind of and again, he talks about this greed will get you. You make $25, but you see the opportunity to make $100, and then you want to go for the $100 when the 25 was good enough, it was safe, but you want more. And so there was a couple of times I wanted more. I went in and I was sweating my pants off, and I had to get out of a trade. And so I'm stumbling over the thing. And again, in the live Zoom, they were able to help me walk out of a trade, because what happens is when you take the training and all of this stuff, and not just his training, but courses in general, when it's time to apply a real life scenario, we get scared and get to fumbling. And so I was like, man, I don't know what button to push. I remember I wrote notes down to how to get out of a trade, and then all that stuff go out the window. So I was able to pull my screen up, and then they walked me through, okay, click this, click that, click this, be ready to hit this button when it's time, in case something, things change drastically. So I found that very, very helpful. And it got me over the hump. So I did one full month, and man, I made $735 with $5,000. So think about that. If you was trading with $10,000, if I was trading with 10,000, that 735 would be $1,470. If I was trading with a $20,000 account, that would have been a $2,800 earnings for the month. If I was trading with a $20,000, you know what I'm saying? If I was trading with a $40,000 account, we're talking about $5,600 is what I would have made using this 14%. So, and again, I'm a rookie. There's still a lot of stuff I don't understand. I ordered the book from Amazon, so I can start to understand more about options and stuff like that, because I like to understand what I'm doing. And so I bought some books, been watching videos, trying to understand what implied volatility is, trying to understand how the VIX affect the market, trying to understand how the Dow affects the market, how the NASDAQ affect the market. And so I'm getting all these new terminologies. And so as a result of going through the training and just sitting here with these guys for the last month, they say you are a sum total of the 5 people you hang around. You know what I mean? So if you're hanging around winners and people who are doing positive things, you tend to come up and rise with them because you're with them. As the ship, at the tide raises the ship, everybody rise together. And so as a result of hanging out with them, listening to them talk about money and savings and investing and the stocks they buy and how some stocks are not doing so great and others are doing well and how they're going to move things around. And listening to the news, like, for example, there was a Fed day where the guy from the Federal Reserve spoke talking about the economy and why he made certain decisions on whether or not he was going to, dealing with the interest rates and stuff like that. My knowledge and understanding is increasing and changing. My mind is growing about how the economy works, how money works. And so when I was listening to the Fed guy talk, he was talking about how AI is going to do this and that and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm thinking like, dude, what kind of stocks can I buy that not only just stocks about AI, but what are the companies that supply the AI technology? These, you got these big AI companies, and you need all these supercomputers, you need all these data centers, you need all these chips, these memory chips, you need all of this stuff in the background that make AI work. And it's like, I could invest in those companies that make AI work. You know what I mean? And so there's a transformation going on. So as I'm learning how to make money trading and make my money work for me instead of me working for dollars, now I'm being exposed to a whole nother world of finance, and now I'm understanding. And I wish I knew about this a long time ago. It's incredible. This has been a great month. The last 30 days have been phenomenal. I'm doing trading. We found land yesterday, finally. We're going to be putting money down on land tonight. And January has just been great. Yesterday was the last day in January 31st. It's been great. I'm excited about where this year is going. You know what I'm saying? And all of it is because of decisions and some bad habits that I've started to change about myself. And just trying to be, we wanted to build bigger and get a big piece of land, but now I'm starting to say, hey man, we just need to pull the trigger and just get going. And the same thing I did with this trading, is like, it's time to get this investing thing right. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep talking about it, can't keep pushing it off. And so I'm excited about going into February. Now I'll go in with more money, which right now I have an extra contract that I'm able to buy each day. All month I was only able to buy 3 contracts. Now I'm able to buy 4. I'm probably going to add another $500 or $1,000 to the account. And if I add 1,000 in a few days, I'll be able to trade 5 contracts, which means I would make even more money. And I know that might not sound like anything, but things are changing right literally before my eyes. I know many of you follow me because you want to move abroad or you're thinking about retiring in Mexico. And for many people, the biggest hurdle is, how will I make money, or how can I supplement the income that I have? And, and for me, I'm starting to see that day trading gives me the freedom to live here without needing a local boss. Plus it's extremely difficult to get jobs in Mexico. They generally give them to local citizens. And if you're not a citizen, it's hard to get a job here. And quite frankly, the jobs won't pay you enough. Remember, people live here and earn pesos. But day trading fits the move to Mexico lifestyle perfectly, because with this, you only need a laptop, solid internet connection, and again, like I said, it only works if you work this like a business. So hey, a lot of our members have already joined this program. Many are making money. Some have lost. I'm not going to sit here and paint a rose-colored picture. Many, some of the students have lost. Many have made this work. Some have lost. And again, a lot of it has to do with not sticking to the plan. It is risky. I will tell you that. There's a learning curve that you got to have. I've started out with $5,000 and, so it's a risk. Anything's a risk. Starting a business is a risk. Moving to Mexico and forgetting all your friends back at home, that's a risk. I mean, there's a risk for everything. And that one thing I appreciate about Robert, his goal really is to help you manage risk, because this is not without risk. But if you can manage risk, manage yourself, manage your greed level, be disciplined, have a plan, have a strategy for getting in and out. And he talks about all of that in his program. So I would say, man, if this is something that you're interested in, I highly recommend you check out Robert's program. You can find it online at slowlifetrading.com. I'll put the link in the description and the comments below. It's the same program that I went through. Like I said, there's some options for you to hop on Zoom calls and trade with him during the day or during the week. You can buy these little extra Zoom passes to hop on and just hang out with him until you feel comfortable with it. And like I said, you get one of these for free just when you join. Same program that I joined and access, I mean, you'll get that as well. Come ready to work. It's not a hobby. It's not a game. You got to treat it like a job and work it like a business. And, so I'm rooting for you all. This year, let's make this year one where you finally get the financial freedom that you've been looking for and get the things that you want. And so after being here for 4 years, I think this year is probably going to be the best out of all of them. We're off to a great start already, and we're just 30 days into the new year. I want you to jump in and say, hey, I'm going to make the next 11 months count before we enter into 2027. So if you have questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'm grateful. If you're not a subscriber here, make sure you subscribe. Check out Robert's program, www.slowlifetrading.com.